Even the most fastidious of beard researchers make a mistake sometimes. Observations of the Beard Nest, part number 4. This kind of fell to the bottom of the pile. I'm not sure why, but Wesker beards seem to be pretty popular because we got to look inside of a beard nest, so why not continue this, right? If you missed the previous parts or don't remember them, hey, playlist link in the description. Holiday entitlement. It's more common than you think. Holy nacho-eating neckbeard, Batman. ReddX has read my reports. I'm here. Looking back, I hope my spelling and grammar weren't too rough for you to read. Thank you for the critiques. I admit that my jab at my cousin possibly seeing this does come from not being able to talk to him about his actions. Not on me not wanting to, but my family constantly telling me not to. And thank you for the kind words about my horse. She did smoke like a chimney, and I couldn't get her to stop, lol. Honestly, I laughed my butt off at that, and my grandma's cookies are indeed chocolate chip. Anywho, everyone check out the video by poking this link. He don't mind. He does a great job narrating, and I will add my YouTube and Insta for the art dolls at the end of this report. Yeah, why not get the self-plug in, you know? I'm here for you! With the thank yous and the plugs set aside, I will get into my next report. I will warn you, dear researchers, that the first 3 parts were only a precursor that's leading up to some fallout that's happening right now. That's also why I haven't updated in a while, but I will be adding this present drama to the saga as we go. Oh, you love to see it degrade in real time, don't ya? The cast is majorly the same, so let's begin with the last 2 holidays. That is the start of the beard's true colors shining through. Though Aunt Karen isn't making an appearance due to her own family drama centering around her, I'll give details, but I can't seem to get said details yet. So once I have the research, I will share. That's alright, it's gonna be worth waiting for, I know it. So Thanksgiving has arrived, it's 2022, things are sorta getting back to normal, though people are still clinging to Halloween and all of its glorious goodness. The celebration is being held at the epic grandparents' house this round. Uncle Popo and Techbeard are sitting on the couch, and my grandma's massage chair just shooting the breeze, as you do. Umbridge is sitting on the floor with Kiddo, keeping him busy with toys. Yeah, a peaceful start. The calm before the storm. Well, if this isn't every family get-together ever. My mom and sister had even brought a treat for everyone. Vanilla Coke and rum. Oh, now I don't usually drink. I'm not a fan of the burn that it leaves in my chest, but rum and Coke? Yeah, that's something I can enjoy. And I had a glass. When I sat down, however, Kiddo was given a treat that my curious cousins called crack. It's saltine crackers covered in icing, red and green sprinkles, and mixed with Chex Mix. In short, kid-friendly version of said substance. Yeah, sugar. Most addictive substance in the world.
Cocaína.
So in short, I wasn't able to enjoy my drink as he started running around on a sugar high, so I sat with my dad, sipping my adult beverage. Quickly, so it wouldn't spill, and I didn't dare set it down in case Kiddo wanted to try it. Go ahead, let him try it. Might settle him down, son. While I was sipping, my mom announced that she had a rum and Coke for people to try, and Umbridge perked up like a meerkat. "Do you have Dr. Pepper?" she asked loudly. "No," my mom answered. It's rum and Coke." "I want Dr. Pepper," Umbridge announced, going to the kitchen, and I didn't hear what conversation was going on. Rest assured, OP, it was probably really dumb. A couple minutes later, though, I heard my epic grandparents' soda maker running. They were making Dr. Pepper just for Umbridge. To each their own. To me, soda is soda. It's a delightful dark potion with wonderful carbonation fizz. I do love bubble drink. It is poison, but I do love it. When she comes back with her Dr. Rum, I guess you'll call it, she sits next to me with my dad on the other side of me. "So, any spells you've done recently?" I looked at her, large-eyed, and pray that my dad, who studied to be a pastor before having me, didn't hear. It was this one time that I was glad for my cousins and uncle's loudness, because it saved me from being interrogated and outright ousted before the turkey was even done. Not really, I answered quietly. Been busy to really do anything. And while this might have seemed a tad rude, I got up, saying that I need a drink as I finished my rum and coke, and I wanted a lemonade now. Thankfully, when I got said lemonade, Umbridge had distracted herself with Kiddo. Okay, Inquisition averted. At least for now, but how long can we run around with these secrets? You'll have to unburden yourself at some point, OP, before somebody else unburdens you, you know? Anyways, on to dinner. Thanksgiving is usually served at the Grands via buffet style in the kitchen. You go in one door, grab your eating utensils and plate, select what you want, and go sit down. There's not a lot of room in the Grand's dining room to add a kid table, so a fold-up card table is set up in the living room. I sit in my usual spot, a chair near the wall of the dining room, and I was talking to my sister. "Hey, Gelfling," Neckbeard called, towering over me with a plate in one hand. "When are you gonna be back for Magic the Gathering?" As mentioned before, I am not confrontational, and Neckbeard was so loud he all but quieted the room with his question, and I could feel a spotlight on me. "Oh, when I'm not all peopled out after work, I guess," I told him. Between high-pitched barking dogs and entitled owners, I tend to just want quiet at the end of the day, to unwind. That's a very human response. Neckbeard retorts, however, "You could unwind with us," and he took a seat at the head of the table. Two things in this. Neckbeard and his friends count as people. In my research, I found that when you're around people after you're all peopled out, it doesn't generally have a nice conclusion. And second thing, Neckbeard sat where Epic Grandpa sits, at the head of the table, and Uncle Popo sat next to Neckbeard where Epic Grandma sits. Well, let's just hope Epic Grandparents are more confrontational than OP. This is my house and I will sit at the head of the table. Both grandparents were made to sit in fold-out chairs. Oh, this is shameful. Epic Grandma has back problems that she's mentioned since October. I would have given my grandmother my seat, but with where Neckbeard was sitting, I was trapped in a corner, and I would have to ask someone closer to the kitchen for seconds if I wanted some, and Epic Grandparents declined the wood chairs with the cushions that my parents had offered before anybody asks. Okay, but obviously Uncle and Cousin are not getting the message. Somebody got to say, "Hey look, Neckbeard, get the hell up. That's not your seat. I'm gonna put your plate on the floor, let you eat like an animal since you want to defy social conventions so badly." So yeah, that was a tad rude in my book, seeing as Epic Grandparents were the ones hosting. I'm just amazed that nobody said anything. And OP says as much. Though no one said anything, much to my annoyance, since I'm not allowed to say anything, well, that's why I'm writing it here. Most unfortunate. Conversation goes on, and the topic of my grandmother's surgery comes up, my mom asking how the preparation checkups are coming along. "They're fine," my grandma answers, "though the doctor says my calcium levels are too low. They have me taking these giant pills to get that up, and they're saying I'll be recovering for at least 3 months, so we're looking into other care options for Kiddo." Yeah, my grandma is preparing to be operated on, and yet she's still watching Kiddo for free. I just don't understand. I never understand. They're like, "Hey, look, I've got other stuff going on right now. Could you take the kids somewhere else? Thank you." Neckbeard answered, "We'll give it a week and see how you are from there." And again, no one commented on this. This is important. So dinner ends, and my mom and I retreat to the back to use the super nice massage chair that Epic Grandma bought for post-surgery. She found out she actually can't use it because of her post-surgery, so she lets my mom and sister and I use it after work from hefting large dogs around all day. So shout out to dog groomers everywhere, I guess. And to recharge. Mom needed the chair and I needed the quiet, so I sat on the spare bed in the same room and quietly scrolled through Instagram. Ah yes, comfortable silence. At least it was until Uncle Popo and Neckbeard followed me into the back, because my mom was already in the chair, and they started talking to me about going back for Magic the Gathering. I don't even remember the conversation. When I get peopled out, I tend to zone out. I go to my happy place where I plan out the next art doll. All I remember is that they were loud in the small room and I couldn't hear myself think. When they finally left, Mom looked at me and asked, "Did they follow you back here just for that?" "Yeah, all I wanted was quiet," I told her. She laughed a bit before she told me that I could stay there a bit longer, which, of course, I happily agreed to. I'm telling you, one difficult conversation and you could have all of your time back, all of your mental well-being back. I'd highly suggest it, but I know it's not going to happen. Soon the celebration ends, and we use the excuse that we have dogs and a cat and birds to take care of to make a hasty retreat, where we settle in with popcorn and play games with my brother and his wife and FaceTime with my other sister who's out of state. Yeah, peaceful ending. But this Thanksgiving were just the first rumbles of the storm. And since it had been a while since I posted an update, and Christmas is where the storm really starts to pour, here comes Last Christmas.
I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away.
Christmas of 2022. Cold, snowy, and I'm feeling pretty good. Excited to see my epic grandparents. Like Thanksgiving, the Neckbeard family is already there, and Kiddo is playing with magnets. I sit and visit with everyone, and hang out, checking YouTube every now and then to see how a recent post I made was doing. Kiddo is being very rambunctious this round, telling Umbridge that he wants cookies, and when she says no, he runs and gets a cookie anyways. And nothing is said other than Umbridge saying, "Kiddo, why aren't you listening?" in a soft tone that is not at all punishing. I mean, first things first, you need to say that statement with your chest, and then you need to follow it up with "get in time out." You listen or there will be consequences. Things are quiet until dinner. Umbridge is sitting where my sister and I were sitting last year with Kiddo, leaving a chair open for Techbeard. Techbeard, however, again tries to sit in Epic Grandpa's chair and make Epic Grandma sit next to Kiddo.
He wants you to sit next to him,"
he was telling her, and even asked Kiddo,
"Do you want Grandma to sit with you?"
and got an eagerly happy "Grandma" from Kiddo.
"Actually, Techbeard," my dad said, "if you sit in Grandpa's chair, you'll trap Grandma if she wants to get something, or if she needs the bathroom. Why don't you sit with Kiddo and Umbridge?"
Techbeard didn't like this idea, so he sat next to me instead. So Grandpa sits in his chair, but Grandma still sits next to Kiddo. It's pathetic. At least Dad tried. Props to him. And Kiddo, hopped up on sugar from earlier, is just not sitting. He's trying to take Grandma's food, putting his hands in the butter, running around under the table and around the table. Somebody leash that kid up. I'm not saying corporal punishment needs to make a comeback. I'd never say that. But I could think it on the inside. All the while, you could hear Techbeard saying,
"Umbridge, can't you take care of this?"
And Umbridge quietly cooing, "Kiddo, come sit next to Mommy." My dad is a short-tempered man. He can keep his cool, but I get my red-headed Irish brewing from him, so he's keeping his cool while moving his chair back so Kiddo can't run past him, and so Techbeard can catch him. Techbeard does not move, or even acknowledge that his son is mimicking Sonic the Hedgehog on a sugar rush, along with a mouthful of biscuit. A small detail, I know, but I thought for sure that Kiddo would choke if he kept running with that gooey bread in his mouth. I mean, he didn't yet, but he will. Sometimes karma works slowly. And then present time, oh my god, what a show. We gather in the family room for the ritual of passing gifts, and it was decided since my brother, his wife, and my present sister's boyfriend had yet to arrive, Kiddo would open his gifts first, and then he'd go down for a nap to avoid a meltdown. So he opens his gifts, and then Techbeard goes against the plan.
"He's doing really well,"
he commented,
"and he's distracted by his presents. He should be fine."
And with that, Techbeard gets on the floor to help build the toy for Kiddo. It's a new dino toy. So this landmass of a human is now laying on his stomach right in the middle of the floor, and the worst part, his pants had rolled down enough to where I see just the crack of the moon peering over the horizon. I still need brain bleach.
Well, if you don't like it, don't look.
It's hairy and horrible. I have to look. So presents are passed around the landmass and opened. Neckbeard getting up once the toy was ready for Kiddo, and he looks to me.
Oh, we're doing a special get-together this weekend, he told me. We have starter packs for Magic the Gathering, and we could build you a deck.
I can't, I tell him. I got work that day, and since it's the holidays, my schedule is packed tight.
Please, he insists. It'll be after work.
Ugh, gross. Don't beg me. Go online. What's wrong with you? I really can't, I try, but Umbridge cuts in, putting her hands together and giving me puppy eyes, which kind of made her look like Puss in Boots when he was in Donkey's body.
Oh, kill it!
Please don't make me be the only girl there, she begged.
Guys, she said she doesn't.
My dad tries, but then Kiddo starts burbling loudly. He could tell that my dad's temper was starting to boil. He leaned down to Kiddo and quietly said,
Hold on, the grown-ups are talking,
he told him. Blah, 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 Kiddo yelled in my dad's face. And then, bless my dad, all he did was raise his own voice.
I can be loud too!
And then Kiddo hit my dad with the large toy truck that he had opened. And with that, chaos rained down on the family. Umbridge scooped up Kiddo and took him in the back for a timeout, where he only screamed and she sat there with him. Yeah, pretty sure you're doing timeouts wrong. You should have just let nature take its course. But like, yeah, you want to throttle him? I do too. At least in this situation, I'm not the bad guy. Go for it, Chad Dad. And while we're getting ready to leave, Neckbeard still insisted,
we'd really like you to come hang out.
And this is where I lost it. I politely said no, but no wasn't doing it, so I blurted the first thing that came to mind. I have a date that night, I told him. Though technically I did. I was trying to get back into dating, but it was a swing and a miss. At least it shut him up about Magic the Gathering, I guess. I don't know, OP, that doesn't seem much to me like losing it. That's just making excuses. We still ain't addressing the issue at hand. But okay, whatever is fine. When I got home, I immediately went to my room to decompress. I almost cried from how loud all of that was, but I didn't. The magic of bird cuddles is amazing. My sister even came up and told me, you didn't tell me you had a date that night. If he's still being a butthole about it, use me as your scapegoat. You'll have plans with me, as a girls' night. My sister is the best. Yeah, that's a foolproof plan, isn't it? And so ends this report. This is the start of my family having enough of my cousins and my uncle being entitled to everything, and the start of my family finally standing up and telling this nest of beards a word that they haven't heard in years. No! From here on out, updates might be sparse, but I am getting information as it comes. Next is my grandma's back surgery. Spoilers! She's okay and recovering well, but at the same time, Neckbeard made good on his comment at Thanksgiving. Until next time, stay safe and remember crystals are great protection if you throw them hard enough. Promised links here. They don't mind being poked. I'll leave those in the description for you. I still say OP's entire family just far too polite. Somebody has to lean into this conflict or the whole thing is going to implode. Or maybe explode, and that's how we end up with estranged uncles and cousins, and I know it doesn't seem like you'd be missing out on all that much if they did disappear forever, but it's still a sad thing to have happen if it could have been avoided. Although, maybe it can't be avoided, maybe they're not willing to change, but we won't really know until somebody pushes on them and really tries to get them to change, right? So let's see what happens in the next part number 5. And this is the last one that's been posted, at least thusly, so we'll see if 6 or 7 comes along, or maybe this is where everything wraps up. I really don't know. Observations of a Beard Nest, part number 5. Post-op drama llama. I mean, the drama llama never truly dies, does it? Hello, ReddX. Hi again, researchers, passersby. I am Gelfling, your OP, and welcome back to my research thesis on the nest of beards. I'm writing this right after posting the last update, so thank you again, ReddX, for reading my reports on this beard nest. I'll update this post for more narrations as I go, so enjoy the family drama, get some popcorn and some holy water, and some soap, because you're gonna need it. So this report takes place shortly after Christmas. It's now only the start of 2023, and things are meh. These reports might be a bit shorter, because they're happening almost as we speak. As I'd mentioned in past reports, Epic Grandmother was preparing for her back surgery, as her back is proving frail, to the point where she needs calcium pills to get her bones strong enough to handle the surgery. All the while, she is still watching Kiddo up until a day before she goes under the knife. It's a living nightmare. Why you gotta martyr yourself, Grandma? It's time to stand up and say enough is enough. No means no. Maybe it is like some form of escapism for her, but it can't be good for her to do this every day. She's an old woman, goddammit. All the while, Techbeard is posting on Facebook saying that his primary care for Kiddo won't be available, so he's looking for childcare from 11 to 5, Monday through Thursday, and he needs it to start on Monday. As quoting from one said post, and since Epic Grandma gave him free childcare for 4 years, he's looking for childcare which is as free or cheap as possible. Dude, the type of people that you would pay minimum wage to watch your kids, that's not the type of people you want watching your kids. Please don't do this. So the day of the surgery comes, and I sadly can't be there due to work, but Mom gives us updates as she is there for Epic Grandpa, her dad. However, her brother, Uncle Popo, never called to check up on Grandpa or Grandma. He didn't even pop in to check up on them. Yeah, how hard is it to send a card? Come on, do better. Getting ahead of myself. As they sit in the waiting room, Mom tells of another gentleman who was around Grandpa's age and waiting on his wife. She had fallen and broken her hip. It wasn't even down a flight of stairs. She was standing and lost balance, bounced off a counter, and hit the floor. This story hits Grandpa, and he and Mom start talking about Kiddo and how they can't keep doing this. Finally, Mom speaks up. She told him how often Uncle Popo takes Epic Grandpa's brand spanking new truck to Arizona on the regular to bail Aunt Karen out of whatever hole she dug for herself. And now the interior is covered in his dog's hair and scratches from his dog's nails, and how Techbeard boasted about how he put the first 45,000 miles on that truck. Weird flex, but okay. We talk about how whenever Umbridge drives a car into the ground because she doesn't maintain her cars and never puts in oil, it's his truck they take until they get a new one. Bro, Grandpa this whole family's too nice. I hate to point the finger at the family and be like, that's why the beard nest is grown, but yeah, you didn't excise it. You just stood there and kept your mouth shut and played nicey nice and hoped that they would fix themselves, but that never happens. It's going to continue this way until you put your foot down. So do it. Just do it. Even on the day that I had to load my horse up to go to the vet, Uncle Popo complained that he might need the truck. She went on to tell him how Techbeard knew of Grandma's condition since October, and he hadn't found anything for childcare. And where we live, there is help galore for childcare. There's even classes for mothers to take if they're feeling overwhelmed. And when Grandma first started saying, I can't keep watching Kiddo, he's too heavy, Uncle Popo convinced Epic Grandpa that it'll be fine. They just build a crib that Kiddo can climb into. Then Grandpa told her that he felt bad for Techbeard, that Uncle Popo told him that Techbeard can't find any childcare. He's in a tough spot. Maybe we could shorten the daycare after Epic Grandma's surgery. Yeah, the day after surgery, I'm gonna start lifting this kid again. Uncle Popo truly has no soul. You know that? She told Grandpa that the nest of beards was manipulating him and guilt-tripping him into free babysitting and not allowing Grandma to punish Kiddo if she needed to. The one time that she did, Umbridge went off on Epic Grandma and threatened to never bring Kiddo back. This only lasted about 3 days. Sounds like a good way to get a break and teach the kid some lessons, right? I would keep doing it. I don't care. You don't want to parent your kid? I will. Especially if I gotta be around him all the time. They had a long talk about all this until the doctor came out. Grandma was finishing her surgery and she did well. But she was worse than they thought. I don't know how much worse, but she was in bad shape. So Grandma wakes from surgery, and while I didn't go, my sister and Mom often did. I don't like hospitals, and she was in the one that I used to work at, which wasn't a great place for me. But after a couple nights and a couple spooky happenings, Grandma comes home, and it is then that I visit. I catch up with Grandma and help Mom encourage her to drink her protein shakes when I hear that Techbeard was asking if she could watch Kiddo this coming Monday. I'm telling you, dude, the explosion is coming. Grandma ain't gonna take this forever. This would make only 9 days after her surgery. Remember back in Thanksgiving? Wouldn't you know, a week in after Grandma had spinal surgery, and he's asking for free childcare. That would be today. So Mom is over at Grandparents' house to make sure that she's okay, and to be there when the physical trainer comes to talk to Grandma. Mom was hired by their insurance to help with Grandma's recovery, so she's legally bound to follow doctor's orders. Mom had a knockdown, drag-out talk with her brother on the phone about all this nonsense, and all he did was answer, "What can you do?" Needless to say, my poor mother was completely drained after that conversation. But as of so far, we are caught up. My reports might be short and far between, but I will keep this all updated as it goes on. Maybe I'll post some screenshots of those Facebook posts if anybody's interested. Yes, please show me receipts. I love it. Pray for my grandma. I'll use those protection crystals that I keep mentioning. Until next time, stay safe out there. The world be crazy. Thanks for reading ReddX, and for my tarot pals, may the world be at your fingertips, and may the chariot carry you to victory. Yeah, I did tarot readings for a minute. I could be a tarot pal too, that's fine. This wasn't the epic explosion or fallout that I was hoping would happen, but it feels like it's just right around the corner. Is this family finally gonna come together and tell all of these beards off? Or will they continue to just suck it up and be like, I don't know, it could be worse. I know what I hope for, but I also know where my money is lying. If I was a betting man, yeah, I have an outcome in mind, but I hope it doesn't go that way, all right? I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, do all them things. Share the video around. I'd appreciate that. Check out the links in the description. TikTok, Twitter, Discord, whatever else. We've also got my Patreon patrons, my YouTube channel members. Thank you guys so much for helping me to get through the month. Lots of expenses currently, but we're gonna get it figured out, as we do. Thank you, as always, for watching, friends. Keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands. Join us again tomorrow. And of course, always remember that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it. And I shall see you in the next one. So until then, friends, bye-bye.